Hello, I don't usually do intros for my speed paint videos, but for this one I think it deserves a bit of context before we dive into the main bulk of the drawing. Feel free to skip ahead to this timestamp if you want to head over directly to the drawing process. But anyways, the drawings you'll be seeing for this one are my own original characters. Two characters I drew back in 10th grade, and I initially didn't have any intention of drawing either of these characters again. That is, until recently I decided to revisit these characters and see if I improved in terms of how I draw them. Needless to say, I actually ended up drawing them differently from their original drawings. But yeah, today we're giving them some lore and creating a small story for them. That's basically what this video is about, and yeah, thanks for listening. Now let's get into the main speed paint. Alright, so this first character you are seeing here is Olivia. From what little lore I currently have, Olivia is the older twin sister. Her younger twin will be the other character you will be seeing later on as this speed paint progresses. Personality-wise, she takes on more of a leadership role and tends to take more action in engaging in things that she likes. And for this particular story, it revolves mainly around mystery and cryptids. At least, that's what I want it to be about anyways. But basically, Olivia is the more hands-on twin. For her design, the art you are seeing is still subject to change since I'm still in the earlier stages of fleshing this lore out. But basically, she's wearing a white polo shirt, I guess, with a red checkered vest. Red or maroon is actually the main color I decided to use for both of these characters. Although there is a part in the speed paint where you'll see I actually initially started coloring Olivia's outfit in green, but I ended up going against that since I think red suits her just a little bit more. And also because the entire lore I currently thought of, whenever I visualize it anyways, I always end up thinking of darker, more desaturated colors, and hopefully it will make sense later on why I think that. This second character is Olivia's younger twin, named Oliver. By the way, the names might also be subject to change, but I think I like to refer to them now currently as the Double O twins. I don't know, I think it sounds kind of cool. For Oliver's personality anyway, he's the exact opposite of Olivia, being more timid and more of a follower type than a leader for the most part. For him, he prefers being less hands-on and would likely just stay behind and study and read about whatever comes up in their path during their adventure. His design, like Olivia's, is still subject to change, and like I said earlier, I made sure the twins pretty much have the same color palette, kind of like the matching outfits baby twins would usually wear. But in the original time I drew him, he actually had a colored sketch version where he had a green outfit instead of red, which is why I tried using green at first for Olivia as well. Now, this third illustration is where I'll be talking about the main lore, or at least whatever I have thought of currently, for the world these two live in. In this illustration, they're in a library setting, and the story for these two mainly revolve around an antique-looking library in the middle of a regular city. So if you're starting to pick up all the dots that I'm trying to connect here, the main mysterious happenings and events in the story will mainly be centered around this antique-looking library. which is also why I said I usually think of more desaturated colors whenever I think of the lore for this. Speaking of libraries, I made a custom book brush for the background of this illustration, because there was absolutely no way I was drawing each of those books by hand, like sketching, lining, and coloring them all. That's a golden ticket to carpal tunnel. So yeah, it took a while for me to create this custom brush since I haven't made a custom brush in a while, but it was definitely worth it. This is by no means an original idea for a brush, by the way. If you're at least online in the digital art world, you'd know a brush like this was made before. But anyways, back to the illustration, I wanted to depict sort of the differences in both of the personalities of the twins with this piece. Here we can see Olivia in the foreground and Oliver in the middle ground, as sort of a reinforcement of Olivia being the leader and Oliver being the follower, if that makes any coherent sense. Since it's usually a thing where more, I guess, headstrong characters are usually put in the foreground of compositions, I imagine scenes where Olivia would be dragging Oliver around on adventures, and it's really fun imagining how these two might interact. For the story anyways, there will be a plot point where they meet an older, more mysterious character who ends up introducing them to the wonderful and weird happenings around their city. And this is also where cryptids come into play, since I imagine the twins only end up discovering the numerous amounts of cryptids in their area only after meeting this mysterious fellow. So it's kind of giving more Gravity Falls kind of vibes for now, but I sort of want to lean it more into a series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket territory. But yeah, anyways, that's the basic lore for these characters. By the way, I wasn't able to export the full time-lapse for this third illustration. I think there was something wrong with my recordings folder, so you aren't able to see the full process. You're not missing out on much though, since I mainly just got lazy with the coloring and the shading for the background. I just used 3 basic colors and repeated them for the books, so it won't be too distracting since, again, it's a background. And for the shading, I just shaded the entire bookshelf and added a streak of light coming through, which I think also looks kind of nice. But anyways, that's the main base for this story and lore of these two. If you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. And by the way, this currently isn't for any big project. For now, I just wanted to add a bit of a story to sort of explain the character interactions I want to make with these two. I imagine a lot of scenarios where they encounter cryptids, and I really can't wait to have you guys see those in the future. Also, the designs for these characters, basically their faces sort of got changed since I ended up drawing them again without references after I finished their drawings for this speed paint today. And they look a bit different, so I might end up making a follow-up video to show you guys how they look now, although I will put up some sketches on screen of how I think their design might be more finalized. But yeah, anyways, I'll talk more about this in the future, and I'll probably start thinking of names I can call this installment, I guess, of me just talking about these two characters on my channel here. But I think I rambled on long enough for one day. Thank you for staying and listening to me. I probably sound a bit unhinged and crazy right now. But yeah, anyways, that's basically it for today. I'm always open to suggestions if you have any ideas how to make this story better, since again, I'm just basically fleshing out the main lore for this as of now. But yeah, as always, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.